Now we're in the final 8 of the blue tournament. There's been some great games and I'm really excited for the games in this round. We have the first battle is Diplomatt versus Iraklis. Iraklis is commanding the Getae and Diplomatt is commanding Tylis. Difficult matchup for the Getae for sure. It's made a bit easier due to the fact that Tylis can only really bring 8 swords, which sort of reduces the weakness. The Battle of Bukhara, and interestingly enough, I just did a feature on this battle. Greek Iraklis is at a horrible disadvantage in this battle due to this being a hot map and him having to run up this massive hill to get at Diplomatt. So yeah, this is not good for Iraklis at all. He has 4 bow horse up front, then he has 4 spear horse in close support. Already the Levy Freeman might get a volley off here, but no, it looks like Iraklis microed well there and managed to pull out. Taking care of the raiding horseman with the bow horse is both dangerous for the bow horse and very important. If Iraklis is able to take away the cavalry of Tylis, that could potentially be massive. He is using a significant amount of arrows dealing with these Levy Freemen, and that is a bit questionable. He's also using his stamina running around on this hot map. The Levy Freemen are dropping, but I question whether this is really good use of his bow horseman. Moving away here with the rest of his army. No reason to rush up here until he has done a significant amount of damage with his bow horse. But it's just going to be so difficult to do because of the map layout. He's going to be firing uphill, doing less damage, getting less back for each volley that he fires. And that is not good for Iraklis. Diplomatt can't just camp here, and he will get increased damage on his Celtic skirmishers and his Celtic slingers just by being, just because he is uphill from Iraklis. Levy Freeman moving in and not throwing a volley. He's still firing. Greek Iraklis likes to fire at Levy Freeman for some reason. Maybe he hates their guts. Just content to stay down here, and the build for Iraklis is 4 bow horse, 4 spear horse, 4 noble swords, 4 axe warriors, and 3 dashing bows. So decisive cavalry advantage for Iraklis. Question is whether he's able to make use of that cavalry advantage on this map, because he's at a decisive disadvantage in terms of infantry. The Oathsworn and the 2 Oathsworn, 6 tribals will have no problems dealing with the noble swords and the axe warriors of Getae, and especially on this map. I mean, I cannot stress enough how massive this map is in terms of giving advantages to the player that is on the hill. Being able to camp while the horse skirmishers are running around and depleting their stamina is very important, and he's doing a good job here in just screening his raiding horsemen with the Levy Freemen and the spear warriors. So it's very difficult for Iraklis to get in. He's starting to take some damage here, but nothing major. And Iraklis is having a hard time finding a good angle of approach. Here he might make something work by doing damage to the Oathsworn, but still firing frontally, not going to be super effective. Spear warriors here might get a volley off on these bow horse, but no, it looks like they're not going to even try, conserving their ammunition. The bow horse, they are winded, so they're going to be very slow now. They are light, and the raiding horse are also light, so The raiding horse could potentially catch them if they wanted to. Spear warriors taking damage now, heavy shots. But the kills are not important enough yet for the bow horse. They're not getting the kills they need. Here we have a very risky move. Spear horse charging frontally into Levy Freeman. The Levy Freeman didn't kill any spear horse yet, but this follow-up is going to cause damage. It's nice that he used 2 units to charge in like this, but he did lose a lot of spear horse and just didn't even manage to take out this unit of Levy Freeman. So he did manage to make these spear warriors chase him so he can fire some more at them. But this was not a good trade at all. Charging uphill into well, it was sort of downhill, so it wasn't all bad, but losing that amount of spear horse, very bad. Celtic skirmishers being fired upon. This is into their unshielded side, so they are going to take a lot of damage. But for the infantry of Getae to be able to do anything here, I mean, just losing spear horse like crazy here. Sure, getting into the Celtic slingers and such, but these spear horse are going to be so depleted when the main engagement starts. I understand that he wants to take care of the Levy Freeman, but I mean, these trades are super dangerous to make. The raiding horse starting to get some kills. The bow horse really needs to pull away, and being able to fire downhill for the raiding horse and the bow horse firing uphill, it's going to make the bow horse less effective, and it's going to make the raiding horse more effective. So again, terrain playing a massive part in this battle. If this was on Nemetusena, this Getae build might work, but on this map it's just not going to be easy for it. Needs to get so many kills with the bow horse, and not able to do that in charging into spear warriors. Wow, that was suicide by the spear horsemen. That unit is gone. Spear horse getting into the raiding horse, but again losing so many men in the process. These are not good trades for the spear horsemen of the Getae. Firing into tribals, the better targets if they're using heavy shot, which they indeed are. Then they're going to be able to take down a few tribals, which is important. Celtic skirmishers moving up, if they get a volley off on these bow horse, they're going to wreck them. The bow horse moving out just too late. Lost a lot of bow horse there. It's a bit too slow on the micro, but being winded is going to make these units slower, so it's going to be much harder to kite even javelins when they are winded. So again, the heat effect on the map being a very important factor in how these units perform. Just fast forward here while the skirmishing is going on. Moving up with the infantry and the archers. The archers are also going to do less damage firing uphill, so there is an opening if he decides to move up all the way around here. But the distance, it's so far that it's going to be very easy for Tylis to block the approach and be fighting downhill the entire battle. And fighting Tylis downhill with Getae is not a good time for Getae. Fighting Tylis for Getae is not a good time anyway, but doing so downhill is just devastating. These units looks like they are able to hide behind the hill there. Celtic slingers moving into range should be able to get some volleys off. Yep, that they are. Got a few kills before the bow horse were able to withdraw. The lines starting to form here, and this is not going to end well for Getae at all. There is no way Getae is going to be able to defeat Tylis uphill. Even on flat terrain, this would be a super uneven matchup. So here we go. Spear Horse might block some charges, but again, uphill, not really effective. Dash and bows, not even dash and heavy bows, but just dash and bows. Oathsworn moving towards the flanks, baiting some javelins with the Spear Horse. Ooh, the Noble Swords, they're giving attack. They are not getting attack orders, they're getting charged. Super bad for the Noble Swords. This is a GG. Noble Swords got charged by Tribal Warriors downhill. It looks like the rest of these units are just going to get charged. What is happening here? This is almost like an AFK moment, because all of these units not getting their charges, they're very important charges. Bowhorse rushing in to stop the Raiding Horse, but none of the Getae units got great charges. Here we have the Oathsworn in the center being kited very nicely. But these tribals are in hot pursuit. So the tribals are going to do well against Noble Swords because they got their charge. Here we have the Raiding Horse rushing in, managing to get into the Mercenary Axis, but the Mercenary Axis did stop them. So that was important, but I just don't see what Getae can do at this point. Getting the Mercenary Axe Warriors attacked in the rear and just destroyed. Spear Horse rushing in to try and stop the Raiding Horse presumably, but there really isn't much that Getae can do at this point, and I have to question why this map is... why the players agreed to play on this map on Bukhara. I didn't even think it was in the map pool, but apparently it was. I mean, it's the reason why it's worse than Armavir is because there is no way to flank and start turning the uphill advantage or the downhill advantage your opponent has against him. He can just keep attacking downhill the entire time. And this being a hot map, it's worse than Armavir because it's going to fatigue one player more than the other, the player that has to be fighting uphill. So the Getae army is getting completely destroyed. There were some micro mistakes made, some questionable decisions made by charging the Spear Horse frontally into spear units and not getting any good charges off. But even if this game was played perfectly by the Getae, just don't think this would have been possible given the matchup and the map. So the general is holding on for dear life and getting a lot of kills there, but costly victory for Tylis and Diplomatt. And you can see just by the kills how, yeah, this Tylis build, this Getae build could have worked on a flat open map, but on this type of on Bukhara, I just don't see it work at all. So next battle. This is a best of 3 rounds still, I believe, so we'll potentially have 2 more battles. Strength and honor.